York County is so much more than just a stop for gas along I-80. 17 County is filled with unique individuals with unique stories, just wanting to be told.
Welcome to another episode of 17 County Podcast, where we spotlight the people, projects, and progress powering growth across our region. From business expansion to community revitalization, we bring you behind the scenes of what's shaping our future. We're proud to recognize the organizations that make this podcast possible. A special thank you to the dedicated stakeholders investing in local impact. Central Valley Ag, Clutie Incorporated, Overland Ready Mix, Collins Aerospace, Meade Lumber Company, and Perennial Public Power District. We're also grateful for the continued support of our financial stakeholders, Henderson State Bank, Midwest Bank, and York State Bank, who help drive business sustainability across the county. Empowering innovation and reliability behind the scenes, we recognize K-Junction, OPPD, and Nebraska Public Power District. Your support fuels the stories we share and the future we're building together. Now, let's get into today's episode. Today, we're joined by someone doing quiet, powerful work behind the scenes to support families when they need it most. Sheila Decker is the In-Home Family Services Manager at Epworth Family Services, where she leads a dedicated team working with families referred through Nebraska DHHS. These families are facing real challenges, often tied to safety, stability, or risk of out-of-home placement. Sheila and her team provide tailored, trauma-informed support, helping parents strengthen their skills, rebuild trust, and access the resources they need to keep their families together. It's compassionate, complex work, and it's making a measurable difference across Nebraska. Thank you so much for joining me today for the podcast. I really appreciate it. I know what you do is really important, so I'm excited to kind of spotlight it a little bit. I guess just to start off with, let's talk about how you got into this work. What led you into this career?
There we go. I have a strong passion to help people, and I love kids. I grew up in a home myself. Mm-hmm. Of hardship and struggles and drugs and abuse. So helping someone to, rebuild that situation is important to me.
Okay, so let's say you go through high school or whatever. Was this the plan? Did you always know that this was the direction? How did that come about? How did you get into this specifically?
I seen an ad in the paper.
Okay.
And it interested me, and so I applied, and I started helping people.
Interesting.
And that was 37 years ago.
Wow. So you definitely like what you're doing.
I do.
Because you've been in it for a little while.
I do. It's always a challenge, and it's always different every day. It's like, it challenges me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're making a difference.
Yep.
Which is so important. Do you have any personal or professional experiences that shaped your approach to how you handle the families that you work with?
I love teaching and mentoring others and being part of helping people because it's very rewarding to help them develop new skills and achieve their successes. Mm-hmm. I personally have taken in a lot of kids through the years. Mm. I did foster care for 15 years. I have a problem with bringing kids home with me. Yeah. So I've adopted 4 that are still at home.
Wow. So it goes beyond just work.
It does. It's kids, it gets a little heartfelt. And
Yeah. I guess one thing that I didn't talk about, we probably should have started with, what do you do? What is it that you do from your day-to-day typical work?
I am the manager for In-Home Family Services, so I guide and teach my team on how to handle certain situations and direct them in the right direction. Okay. What helps one family is not going to help the next. You hit walls, and you gotta think outside the box and come up with new ideas. Yeah,
absolutely. And in-home family services, that's a very intimidating term. That seems very big. Can you explain what that is?
So we do parenting time supervised visitation, which means the child's been removed from their home, and we provide that visitation with their parents. We do in-home family support. In-home family support is when the child or children are still in the home, but the Department of Health and Human Services has recognized concerns that need to be fixed to prevent those children from being taken from the home. We do out-of-home family support, which means the children have been removed from the home, and we have to go in and help those families try to reach those goals to get their children back in their home. Our goal always, our team, is we work for our client. It's always to help the client succeed and get their children returned home. Of course, that doesn't always happen, but that's always our goal.
Okay. So, yeah, it is a big job. I mean,
yeah, and then we also provide drug testing services.
Okay.
So we do urine testing, we do oral swabs, we do sweat patches, we do the breathalyzer as well.
Okay. So that's a lot, and I can imagine being a manager over all of that is a lot.
It is.
How did you grow into that leadership role?
I just kind of got grandfathered in over the years. I started young doing family support myself, and I did it for 28 years. And I was working for Epworth, and I became a manager in 2018.
Okay, so you kind of worked your way up.
Yeah, I did.
That's amazing. Let's talk about the referral process. So my understanding is that you get referrals from DHHS, right?
Correct.
So what does that entire process look like once a family is referred to you?
So each referral is specific to each family. Again, the department, what do I want to say? The department figures out the concerns and sets goals for the families to meet. So then our job is to go in and help the families reach those goals. And I assign staff by whatever the problem is. I mean, I have staff that are very good with addiction. I have staff that are very good with maybe autism, if there's autistic children, or there's always different things. And then some cases require a strong personality. And so we kind of go off that, who gets it.
Okay, so it's very personalized.
Yes, and then there's times I have to go work it because the caseworkers will call me and say, I need you. I need a strong person.
Yeah, that knows what they're doing.
On this case, yeah. Well, and I'm not afraid to. I'm a very direct person.
Yeah.
So, and people misunderstand sometimes. Clients need direct people.
Sure. That makes sense. I mean, they need to know what to do, you know?
Well, they're feeling horrible because their children are removed and they've messed up their entire lives. And if it's addiction, sometimes, they can't see past that addiction. Sure. And it takes a strong hand to try to get them to the spot they need to be to help. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you've kind of alluded to it already, but are there some common challenges that families are facing right now that you've seen a lot in the cases coming your way?
We see a ton of addiction, mental health, homelessness, poverty, domestic violence, and of course trauma is involved with all of it. Sure. But addiction and mental health are very big. Okay. And we were also seeing a lot of, I don't know why, I've kind of been tracking it. We have had a ton of autistic kids that we've worked with. Really? In the last couple of years. So the trend is up there somewhere. Interesting. Yeah, it is interesting because we're seeing a lot of it.
That is. I would be interested to see what the correlation or causation is for that.
Yeah. Well, and, you got a parent with 3 autistic children. It's rough. Yeah, I can imagine. Then finding resources in a rural community is like pulling teeth. It's very difficult.
Yeah. And me and you touched on this before the podcast, but what is your service area?
We cover 17 counties, pretty much the southeast corner of Nebraska.
Okay. So you talked a little bit of the kinds of programs that you provide to support your clients. What would you say is the most needed area? Does that make sense? So parenting skills, family routines, resource navigation.
If I had to say what's the most needed area, it would be more services for mental health and addiction. It is lacking in our communities.
Yeah.
When you got a client that wants to go to treatment right now, you can't get them there. And then 2 weeks later, when you can, they're past it. They don't want to go. So it's a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard. And do you think that is it just because we're very rural, or what do you think?
I do think it's because we're rural, and I think that as far as professionals in the mental health field, since COVID, a lot of people are not working the field. They're working from home on their computers. And I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys do a lot, and I'm sure that you see the best of the best, the worst of the worst. What does success...
My famous line is, we can't make this stuff up.
I'm sure. I can only imagine some of the stories that you have to tell.
We can't make them up.
Man, let's kind of go along this lines of, we're going to get back to storytelling because I'm actually very curious. But when we talk about success in your line of work, what does that look like?
I would say that we get the referrals, we help a client go out and reach those goals, whether it's helping them set up substance abuse evaluations, getting them to NA or AA, or helping them clean a filthy home, finding the resources to clean a filthy home, teaching them, parenting skills and coping skills are huge. We constantly coach and teach and role model. That's huge in our field. And to, we advocate for them 100%. Help them apply for benefits, which is not easy in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits out there, but a lot of people don't even realize they exist as far as the state's concerned.
Sure.
As far as the rural areas, benefits and resources are pretty limited.
Okay. So
we don't have doctors and dentists in the rural area that will help a client free or whatever.
Yeah.
So, we send them to Lincoln, but if you live in a different county, Lincoln won't take you. So
really?
I'll say that they're couch surfing in Lincoln.
If it gets them the help that they need, I mean, they need it, so.
They do, and it's, And I think, food is not so hard to get no more like it used to be.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of pantries. Since COVID, I think that's increased huge.
Right.
And so, we can take them if they're low and there's only one in the area for a month. We can take them to other areas to get those food boxes and help them meet their needs.
So do you see those health services as being the biggest hurdle right now, or access to those benefits? Or, I know there's so much.
Housing is probably another one. Housing is next to impossible to find. And I think what's happening in my eyes is you've got people that got vouchers for housing. However, our housing has rose to an extreme level. And even with those vouchers, they can't afford it. Right. So you get them in one, you're just setting them up to fail because they aren't going to be able to maintain it.
Yeah.
And so that is a very big issue.
Yeah, I've heard that even finding rental programs that take vouchers right now is difficult.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. The rural areas are really tough. And I know, Beatrice, we've built a new school. So they're all in one now. They're utilizing those properties, I believe, to put low-income housing in.
Oh,
so
really?
I'm super excited about that.
I did not know about that. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. And you got someone who's making minimum wage,
Yeah.
who's expected to run their household, plus pay daycare, which is an ungodly cost for every family.
Yeah.
You're not even one
expensive.
struggling. It's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And you try to put all that together, and you just, it's hard to make ends meet.
So this is purely because I'm very curious. When it comes to that daycare side of things, I know that there's subsidy and that kind of thing. Is there any other supports in place for low income?
No,
Really?
no.
Interesting.
And you have some that won't accept the subsidy.
Yeah.
Because the state needs to bring that subsidy up. And another issue is when we talk about health care, there is not a dentist in the rural area that will accept Medicaid.
Yeah.
So then you try to get them to Lincoln, but Lincoln's getting so full, they don't have, they only accept so many.
Wow.
So that's another very big issue. And it's because, from my understanding, I was actually at a legislature session when the dentists were ahead of me talking that Medicaid has not raised their rates in years. And when they do accept them, they're losing money.
Really?
And so that's something I believe the state of Nebraska definitely needs to look at.
I did not realize that either. Well, I'm learning a lot. Yeah, a lot of roadblocks.
There is. And, I don't know what the answer is going to be, but they need to find one.
Yeah.
Whether the state hires their own dentist and doctor to provide those services, somebody needs to do something.
Right. Absolutely. Man, I feel like we're kind of, I'm veering back kind of off topic, but that's okay. So let's talk about progress. I think that there's probably some very solid milestones or ways that you track goal reaching. How do you measure progress with the families?
I think that we kind of measure it by when you get a successful case closure.
Yeah.
And we have those. We do. We're good at it.
Yeah.
But we have those that don't succeed either. So I would say that we measure on the progress of closing the case. We have some real difficult cases where we're known for being good with difficult people.
Yeah. Oh. Which, once again, I think probably leads back to some fun stories. But let's talk about, just what the work is like on the people that are providing the services. I'm assuming burnout and compassion fatigue is pretty intense. How do you and your team manage that?
Burnout is real.
Yeah.
We staff every week. We all get together. That's where we can let everything out, talk about everything. Your team becomes kind of your family. You share a lot of tears and happiness, and it can be quite emotional in in-home services. There's things that you've got to live with that happen, and while you work really hard to help a family and that family's not succeeding, that's very, very hard on staff. However, I've got to remind them that they can't be working harder than their client, because we can teach and we can give them all the tools, but it's up to them to use them.
Right.
And utilize the services that we've offered or taught.
Yeah. I can still understand that being really frustrating is not even the right word for it.
No, it's actually, I think it becomes anger.
Yeah.
Because a staff will go above and beyond to try to help someone, and then gets kind of slapped in the face at a point where it takes a little bit for them to recognize that they're not ready. And addiction is one of those things that is huge for us. And we can, again, give them all the tools and resources, and we can take them to NA and AA. We can find a treatment center for them eventually.
Yeah.
But if they're not ready, they're not going to get cleaned up.
Sure.
They have to physically hit a rock bottom, that they want to help themselves. Addiction is very strong, and it takes over their life. And I think people just make judgments of they just don't give a crap about their kids or don't care. And it's not true. Addiction took over, and it's a real battle.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, once again, you kind of touched on this, but misconceptions, I think, are probably really run pretty wild within the families involved. What are some misconceptions that you'd want to squash?
I would say that is a big one. I know that, like, race sometimes can be something people make misconceptions about.
Yeah.
Poverty. A good example of that is, say a kid routinely has head lice and they live in the lower income area, and people just assume that that's because they're filthy, when that's not true, because lice like clean heads, and it can be yours or mine. I think what happens is those people don't get it taken care of and right away or initially because they can't afford the tools they need to do that.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
So it's just kind of a vicious cycle.
Absolutely. Today's podcast is brought to you by Green Realty and Auction and JLC Incorporated, Jensen Lumber Company. Let's get back to the podcast. So, going back to your team, this is a very difficult job that I feel like somebody needs to be pretty passionate about if they go into it. If you had someone come up to you that was looking about pursuing this as a career, what advice would you have for them?
I would tell them to make sure they have a strong backbone, to make sure that if they've had their own stresses in life, that they're able to work with that and not be triggered by some of our clients, because it happens. And it's happened with one of my staff. I had to take her off a case because we had a male that was being pretty dominant, and it triggered some situations she had previously been in. And you have to make sure your mental mind can handle the things you're going to see. People are oblivious to what's happening in their own neighborhoods. They're oblivious to the sex trafficking. They don't understand how crucial it is and how prominent it is in all of our areas. It's happening.
Yeah. Kind of turning it around, let's say that we're looking at state legislature type things. What kind of things, you once again have already touched on it, but what kind of things would you really urge them to start looking into? What are some of the things that you see as issues that can be solved unless the state starts looking at it?
Definitely medical, dental. I don't know if vision's such a problem. Housing. Another big thing with housing, you can't be on housing if you have a felony. So I think they need to revisit that, because you might be working with a client that had a felony 10 or 15 years ago.
Sure.
That shouldn't still be hanging over their head if you're in there for other reasons that has nothing to do with drugs or,
Right.
People are young and dumb and make mistakes that follow them.
Yeah. Okay.
So they need to revisit some of their guidelines and look at, and I do believe the state is doing better with mental health. They are doing some better things, but we need more centers.
Yeah. Yeah.
for treatment.
So now we get to move on to some of the more fun stuff, the more fun topics. We call this like hot potato. You don't have to answer them quickly. It's just a fun name. But what is your go-to way to unwind after a hard day?
Oh, I go home and I sit on my back porch and I have dogs and I have my family. I feed my birds and I have hummingbirds all over the place.
Oh, cool.
And I might go take a dip in the pool. I have water fountains and I like to listen to music, and I'm usually outside till about 11 or 12 at night. That's my quiet, that's my tranquility at the end of the day.
Yeah, amazing. Do you have a quote or a mantra that you carry with you?
Well, I got a few. One, we can't make this stuff up. Two, I repeatedly say, breathe, Sheila, breathe. You got this, you know?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, family's everything. So if you can help them get it together, it's worth everything. It's very rewarding.
Absolutely. Now we're going to dig into those stories a little bit. So what is your most memorable moment with a family that you've served? Good or bad?
Most memorable. Well, some of it I just don't want to repeat.
And that's fine. Yeah.
I work with a young lady who was young with 3 handicapped children. She, of course, didn't like us at first.
Yeah.
They had, all of her kids have a genetic disorder, a missing chromosome. But it affects everyone differently. But so each child, her first child's not as bad. Second child was worse. Third child really bad. They had a lot of expectations for her, and she was a feisty little thing. I had her personally, and it was a long road. But it turned out good, and people forgot that I would advocate for her and say, you guys, you're setting her up to fail. This is too much. I couldn't do what their expectations were. Really? She got 1 kid in foster care, 1 kid in a hospital, and 1 at home. And expected to do all these things and attend all these appointments and get her other kid to school. And I mean, it was a lot. And she has succeeded. She's doing fabulous. The family, I stay in touch with them. They've grown. But I think when she was getting feisty and stuff, people forget that she also was tested, and she does have this disorder. She's the carrier. Oh. So I don't think she was getting angry to get angry. She needed time to process what was being said because it didn't make sense in her head. One of my greatest moments with that family was when baby got to come home, and I took them out for their first family pictures ever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I took them to the park and took a ton of pictures.
That's cool. Man. Okay. So if you had a magic wand to fix one issue, what would it be? Just one. I know.
Just one. I think at this point in time, addiction.
Yeah.
In all my years of working family services, I've never seen a drug as powerful as methamphetamine.
Really?
And the way it takes over a person.
Wow. Man, once again, thank you guys so much for what you do, because I can't even fathom it. So, do you have a hidden talent or hobby outside of work?
I love flowers and birds and wildlife.
Okay.
I would say that's my thing. Got a green thumb.
Okay, yeah.
I love my kids, and grandkids.
Yeah, all the fun littles running around.
Yeah.
So just to end the note on really striking home the need that is out there, why is early family support so crucial when you're looking at your career? I mean, what you guys do.
Because if you can go in and help these families fix the concerns that the department has noted, you're preventing removal of children from the home, which is incredibly traumatic to them.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it unless you absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
The state doesn't want to do it unless they absolutely have to. So by putting us in there, we can help those families to reach those goals, whether we're coaching, mentoring, role modeling, giving them the resources to help meet their family needs, all that stuff.
Absolutely. And how can communities be more proactive in supporting families?
Paying attention. If you see things that you question, call it in and report it. Lend a helping hand. Every family needs informal family support or informal support system. Offer a hand, offer to be that person's friend or be the spark of their day,
Absolutely.
And I think if more people would do that, we'd live in a little better world.
100%, I agree. When you look at local leaders, schools, organizations, how can they play a role in your mission?
We have wonderful support from the United Centenary Methodist churches. Beatrice is huge. They ask me every month what I need.
Wow.
It might be sunscreen, bug spray, water, cleaning supplies. They help us so we're able, diapers, hygiene products, so we can kind of take some of that expense off the families to get them started up and on their feet a little bit, because those things are expensive. Diapers are really expensive. Hygiene, like if their house is filthy, we got the cleaning supplies. We're able to donate that stuff from the church. If I have a family that needs a couch or a chair, I can call a contact at the church and they'll be right on looking for it for me. They're wonderful. And, Ashley's Furniture has the Hope to Dream program. They provide beds for a lot of kids in need. Not only beds, the bed, the mattress, and all the bedding. So great program. We have a lot of people in the community that do ask questions and want to know where things are and what the needs are. We have a couple groups I'm involved in that we address some of the needs in our communities. Well, specific to Gage County in that group.
Right.
I know York has their collaborative groups too, and I think it's important that we all work together, and I know Gage County is really strong on all of us getting together and helping a family and being on the same page with everything.
Wow. So when you look at people just from the general public level, how can they become involved or support? Can they donate items?
Absolutely, yes. We have churches that I've met a lot of people from. I go to the United Women in Faith Luncheon every month, and I've met a lot of other women from other churches who are donating. We've had a fabulous outsource of book bags and school supplies. It's been amazing. So there's another thing, we're able to help those families get that stuff that's expensive to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Expensive to me too.
Yeah, I know. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's say that I'm someone who wants to support, wants to donate. How do I get in touch with somebody to do that?
Julie Troy is our contact for the professional development piece. They accept money. They accept any donation, whether it's a cleaning supply, hygiene product, or we get quilts, and we have like bed bug protectors are huge because we run into those things too. But they can donate absolutely anything. We are working on those things, and like I said, right now I've been asking for bug spray and sunscreen. There are two other things that are expensive, and so I don't want to punish children that they can't go to the park because mom doesn't have sunscreen or bug spray. So I try to let my staff keep those things so that they can take mom to the park and have some good one-on family time, not just sit in a room or...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that kind of brings us to the conclusion. Do you have any lasting words of wisdom or any advice to give anybody listening to the podcast?
I thank you for having me, and I thank you for bringing knowledge to the work we do. Again, there's a lot of people have no idea what's happening, and maybe they should.
Absolutely. It's so important, and I'm glad that you made the long haul down to come in and do a podcast with me. So once again, if you're a listener and you want to become involved, want to donate items, you can reach out to the YCDC and we can get you some contact information. I encourage anybody listening to just be aware, like Sheila was saying, of what's going on, support trauma-informed care, support early intervention, and keep listening to our podcast. So thank you so much. That's a wrap on another episode of the 17 County Podcast. As always, thank you for joining us to explore the business leaders, community champions, and transformational efforts shaping our regional economy. A final word of appreciation to our stakeholders: Central Valley Ag, Clutie Inc., Overland Ready Mixed, Collins Aerospace, Meade Lumber Company, Perennial Public Power District, Henderson State Bank, Midwest Bank, York State Bank, K-Junction OPPD, and Nebraska Public Power District. Your investment doesn't just support this podcast, it strengthens York County's momentum in innovation, growth, and long-term resilience. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and continue supporting the businesses and partners that make our communities thrive.